Wah, 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 wah. It is a 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Wednesday, July 9th, AD 2025. How you guys doing? We're going to have a fun, loosey-goosey, The Hake Report show. I'd like to let you know that the views expressed on this show are not representative of Bond, do not represent Bond, JLP, the network, or even, honestly, Hake. I don't even represent myself, much less do my callers represent me, or my live chat, or comment section, or because multiple comment sections, or Snake Pit, which is the live chat, or anything else. I am live on and also no endorsement implied or whatever. So get that through your head. Nor condemnation or whatever. You know what I mean? Jelly bean? Yes, I do, tennis shoe. And so we're going to have a fun, hopefully, a loosey-goosey, The Hake Report show. This is for general information and entertainment and all in good fun, hopefully, ideally. You can call in 1-888-775-3773. We're going to get started over here on The Hake Report. As you may know, it is White History Month, and you can buymeacoffee.com/JL/The Hake Report for me. Or just go to thehakereport.com. It's an easy way. And down in the lower right corner of the right, that's the right. Yes. Sorry, I can't do mirrors. You can see the coffee icon to buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report, but it's on thehakereport.com. It's pretty cool. There's other ways to super chat, Cash App, and stuff like that. But what is up, everybody? There's a person on there saying, "Hake, Trump is a PDF file," says Scully the Hypno Skull. This is a person on YouTube from before my show started. And I've never seen him before, so I don't know how active he is. He doesn't seem very active. Is this a fake account or what? Has 11,000 subscribers. I don't know. Joined 13 years ago, but I don't see any comments before, but maybe he would just watches quietly. I don't know that he was ever subscribed to me, but look, he used PDF file, but that I learned from somebody else who was called into American Anchor Baby. They lied about Epstein to your face, and you still kiss his rear. He didn't say rear. Trump's rear. Unsubscribed, scumbag. You can't say that anymore. I am done with people like you. But I don't think he ever subscribed to me, and I don't recall ever asking Trump or caring about Epstein. That's you guys' stuff. I never cared about that. So, whatever. The only thing I cared about was mocking and criticizing, while she lived, Virginia Giuffre. And now that she's gone, I no longer mock nor criticize her. Well, I still criticize her, because she was caught up, like so many people. It is human nature to get caught up, and was caught up in something she thought was important. It was dumb. He didn't see the mountain lion. Yeah, you got to watch out for mountain lions. You got to stand tall, not look weak. Don't be a straggler. Don't look like you're the tail end of a procession or ready to just... Don't look like a target. Don't look like an easy target. Make noise, throw rocks, and that's how you prevent mountain lion attacks. You face them. They like to sneak up on you, so you face them. FYI. That's what I read on the signs warning about mountain lions. What's up, Pilled Crew? Coffee Talk with Sandra. I was on Coffee Talk with Sandra yesterday evening. And I was there for 3 hours. You don't have to watch all 3 hours, but it was interesting. Talked about my pictures with past guests, particularly fallen state guests. Let's see. And talked about JLP, church, the fallen state, the Hake, what I like to talk about, dealing with people, relationships, marriage. Oftentimes it's not worth it, FYI. Not worth it. People have romanticize it. So you can do it, but it may not be, FYI, it may not be worth it. But I think that if you get yourself turned around, it won't even bother you whether whatever was worth it or not. Whoa, something said, boop, the police. Look at the tagging. Look, I'm censoring the tagging. I'm looking at video footage from a year ago, White History Month, in beautiful, forget the police. Anyway, so, nice. Shout-outs. Shout out Epstein. Rest in peace to Epstein. He was a handsome man, and Ghislaine, I guess we'll call her just to sound nicer than calling her whatever, what it looks like it says. She looked nice too. I saw this picture of Virginia Giuffre with Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell, and they're all smiling. They look like they're having a fine time. But then later I find out that Giuffre is like saying, oh, Prince Andrew's a horrible dancer. He sweats a lot. Gross. Just judging this older man that she pretended like she was having fun with, what she claims. Women are so mean and nasty. There was this woman who, and shout out, but there was this woman who did an interview with, like kind of rode along and interviewed the former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani. And this evil woman is like describing sweat or something or something coming down his face. Just nasty. Never agreed to interviews with a woman. Oh, oops. No offense, Sandra. I liked Sandra's interview. Coffee Talk with Sandra. She's always a woman to me. Anyway, man, I feel like I turned it to 77. I feel like it'll kick on. But I know what's going on. I need to. Yeah, if you could turn that fan towards me. Brutal. Turn on the AC. But yeah, so I don't know if you got. I forget who that was that just purposely did these men dirty. Imagine if a man described how nasty and gross a woman is. You almost can't picture it. Sometimes Trump will do it. Trump will do it because he's an equal opportunity criticizer. He lovingly hates people. But, and they'll call him sexist for it, even though he treats everybody the same. He treats men the same way. Little Marco. Disgusting pig, whomever he called that, Rosie O'Donnell or something. And I like Rosie O'Donnell, but not as much as I like Trump. Yeah, I have my favorites. What's up, 555-555-65? Thank you, Jesse Lee Peterson, rating the stream. That is to say, Pastor Chatelet, Age of Inversion, Buddy 1205, Son of Liberty, LGB, and others here. Let me unmute this. Not that one. So that I can get started with the show here. I will take your calls, like I said, 888-775-3773. Some of you calling in early, and I do appreciate it. I see you. I honor you. I respect you. So, anyway, guys, let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how you guys doing? I am fine. I have my old The Great White Hope t-shirt on. This is an old design. You could almost call it a prototype, but we did have it up for sale for quite some time. Oh, what in the world did I just do? Oops, not that. That's terrible. So you can go to jesseleepeterson.shop and get your version of this t-shirt there, jesseleepeterson.shop. But hey, guys, nice to see you. Let me get to beautiful Rick in Hampton, VA, is on the line here. It's a rare time that Rick from Hampton, VA, calls in on time. So I have to get to him. Let me find him here. Rick, how you doing, man?
What's going on, James? Doing all right?
Doing well. Happy White History Month to you.
Yes, happy White History Month to you guys, too, and to my brothers, my Japheth brother.
Nice. Japheth, because Japheth, people surmise, was white, the son of Noah. He was the white son.
Yeah.
Ham was
from.
black, and Shem was Semite, which is to say Asian or something.
Arabs and Jews.
Okay, nice.
Yes, sir.
So who did the Chinese people come from? Or were they invented later?
They consider them Japheth and some are Hamites, too.
Oh, okay.
That's what I have heard.
That makes sense because there are
goes.
Asians who are light and Asians who are dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
And
they are brothers
that's
or
what
cousins.
I consider. I always say, James, everybody came from Noah's 3 sons.
Nice.
You know.
I'll take it.
I will too, man. And you got some blacks saying that the Jews were all black.
I know. It makes no sense.
I was like, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. So, man, you know, with the 32 kids that got killed in that Texas flood,
yeah.
you know, blacks are trying to make it racial. Well, how come they ain't do that when those 32 women kids got killed in Washington, D.C.? And I say it's a difference. When a storm coming and then no one saw the storm coming, that's different.
Yeah.
It's not saying that they less important, but when a storm, because sometimes I say the weathermen, they about 80% right. And that other 20, you don't know what's going on, like even a storm. If they predict a hurricane be like a Cat 1 and all of a sudden turn to a Cat 5,
wow.
you know.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know, man. And the only thing the weathermen are doing, they just trying to guess as best they can.
That's true. They really are. They're doing the best they can.
Yeah, that's it.
What a mess.
And as always, you know, the blacks was making it a little race issue.
That's true. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's so funny. I was listening on Jesse's show, and this guy I always hear black talk.
Come a little closer to your phone. You sound like you sound a little, just a touch far.
Can you hear
off.
me now, James?
That might be better. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Much better.
They were saying like I lost my y'all colonized us, but yet when the Europeans leave, y'all get worse. And then y'all go into the Europeans asking, can y'all use their bathroom? Ain't that something?
Yeah. Interesting point.
Man, you know, then
you know what's funny? You know, like South Africa, for example. The blacks who are taking over South Africa are not they're not the blacks who were originally there with the whites. There are blacks who were originally there with the whites, and they're not the ones taking power. They're just little tribal blacks, just off to the side. It's blacks who are outsiders, newer than the whites who were there. It's crazy.
Oh, so I want out from America.
yeah, true. That too. What a mess.
Man, I tell you, James, I wouldn't want to be nowhere else but the good old U.S. of A.
I'm with you.
I mean, we may have our flaws. Ain't no country perfect, just like there's no church perfect. But for the most part, I'd rather be here in the United States of America.
That's right. Me too.
You can't beat it, man. You can't beat it. And I say that, I love this country. You know, I just love all the people here, Asian, whites, blacks, you know, Hispanics, you know, just like everybody just trying. It's like now, you know, it's like everybody's trying to hate on the Jews.
I know.
Why is everybody hating on the Jews?
It's
you know
all
what I mean?
the rage right now, and people are jumping on the bandwagon, all trendy and stuff. Give me a break.
Yeah, I said, what did they do?
Nothing.
Well, they own Hollywood. So what? Y'all go watch the movies?
I know, huh?
You
Terrible.
know, I mean, it's like, okay. Oh,
They
boy,
know
I
more
tell you
about
what,
Hollywood
yeah.
than I do. It's crazy.
Exactly my point,
And I'm
man.
from here, this area.
Wow, man.
Terrible.
California, man, that's a beautiful state, man. As long as they can, matter of fact, the last time I had a Republican was Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
for governor.
He messed it up for the
Man,
rest of us.
And I'll tell you, man, it's just terrible, man. And
It is.
and I guess too, what I want to say is, you get all these foreign people coming in. Here's the thing: I get like, you have Illamar. I mean, all you know, those Muslim congressmen that's in Congress. I mean, if the U.S. is so bad, why didn't they be a politician in their own country?
Because they can't. Their own country is torn apart because they don't know how to run their own country.
I agree with that too.
They don't know how to run anything.
Every black country, or what they call it, people of color. I don't know no capitalist country, from South America to Africa to I don't know anyone that believe in capitalism when it comes to countries that are black or brown.
That's a good point. I don't either.
You know, they believe in that socialism.
That's right.
And-
Same thing with the Asians too.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Socialist.
Japan is capitalism.
Japan is, but that's because we made them that way after we bombed them. We turned
Yeah,
them
and
into we turned them into a Western country.
You know, and on that same tip there, James,
Yeah.
how they say, you know, we should have fought a ground war. I said, out your rabbit mind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got an A-bomb to end the war. Finally end it, and you're gonna send your troops and lose more of your troops, and you have a weapon that can end it all.
That's right. No,
Yeah,
just
no,
drop the bomb and be done.
Yeah.
If you got to do anything.
That's right. And now you ain't got to send your own troops. I mean, why would you want to send your troops? You know, fight a ground war.
Yeah.
You know, but you know how it goes. You know, it's just the liberals always say they U.S. shouldn't have dropped those bombs. You mean you think we should have went in and fought a ground war?
I don't
Thank
think
God
so.
for Robert Oppenheimer and Dr. Einstein.
That's right.
Because when they bombed Pearl Harbor, and somebody was saying we baited Japan to come into the war, but still they didn't have to do what they had to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They bombed Pearl Harbor, and they did what everybody was asleep, and then so Japan, they were just trying to take over, and I believe God used the U.S. to spank them. That's what I believe.
You might be right. Might be right.
know.
I couldn't say, but
You know,
I think there may be some
I'm
truth
just
to that.
speculating. You know.
Yeah.
Just speculating, you know, because Japan was trying to take over the whole Far East.
Is that so? I know that they were really putting the hurt on China, of all places.
China. You know, I hear that China don't even like Japan still to this day.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just how that goes. You know, they don't even like Japan to this day, man.
Yeah. I mean, they harbor the resentment over the supposed rapes that took place.
Yeah, because like I said, Japan invaded and it was torching the Chinese, from what I hear.
Right.
But even though they got to forgive too, you know.
That's true.
These newer Japanese, they had nothing to do with that, you know. Just, you know,
Indeed.
you had to blame Japan's leadership on that.
Yeah. And then it's young men. Young men fight wars, and young men want the S, sex. And so they're all aggressive, and when you put them in a brutal situation and they want to do some brutality, they're going to turn brutal. They'll fall into that mode, and everybody else judging them. Leave these young men alone.
You know, I have never seen men so weak in my life, man. I just think men are just so weak now, man. And
it's a shame.
Like, what was that? Some Indian man, I think he called his wife beautiful. He up there cutting up.
Yeah.
Why'd you call my wife beautiful?
I saw that on the JLP show. I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago, and then today too on in the Manhood Hour segment. What a mess.
I'm like, what can't I mean? Like, you like saying, okay, nowadays you do gotta be careful what you're saying, man, because people would definitely holler sexual harassment in the Me Too movement. So,
right.
You know, it's man, you can meet it, be sincere. Like, hey, you're a beautiful lady.
Right.
You know, oh, you're flirting. You know, and then like that guy. I mean, as long as they wasn't trying to hit on her or nothing, you know, he come over there, yo, you should come my wife beautiful.
Yeah. What a mess. That's what happens when you have these other cultures coming in and nobody knows what's really going on because everybody's misreading it based on their own culture. You can
thank the Democratic Party for that.
Yep. And the rhinos, honestly.
They always say, and they always say, we got to be a melting pot. We can't even agree on anything. We don't even have an established religion. Now we don't even have an established language.
Yeah.
No more.
Terrible. No unity.
Yeah. I mean,
culture is based on cult, which means religion. We're supposed to be of one religion, basically. A nation, just like a race, a people.
Well, when you go to Islam is the religion. You better accept it or not.
Nice.
And their language.
Based.
And here... I mean, well, we got a lot of other cultures here. They come here by choice. I mean,
that's right.
And I'm seriously too. I'm like this. You shouldn't be in our government unless you're a naturally born citizen, and that's including our military.
Right.
I still believe in that.
I agree, man.
I mean, because I have never seen so many foreign people in our military, man. Their names are so long you can't even pronounce their names.
Yeah. What a mess.
So, yes.
It's great hearing from you, Rick. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you there, but Brother Jane. Thank you for taking my call, man. Just like to contribute and support my brother's shows, man. Love you guys, man. Continue putting the truth out there, Gene.
That sounds good. Take care.
You too.
Bye. So if we mosey on over to the HakeReport.com, the HakeReport.com has notes from the JLP show, from the Hake Report, but and my appearances. You can catch my appearances on Coffee Talk with Sandra. The Rumble replay is up. The X Live replay is up. And elsewhere, I believe. Nice. Minnesota politicians. Remember that Minnesota politician who got shot last month, though? He just barely got out of ICU. That's shocking to me. You know, because this stuff happens to people, and then you forget all about it. Partly because you're supposed to. Are you really supposed to know what's going on in the world today? Does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter. That's another reason why I don't care about the Epstein thing. But Minnesota State Representative John Hoffman, according to Commie Nonsense Network, shot. Remember he got shot? He and his wife, Yvette, also shot. She left the hospital Juneteenth. Terrible. Weeks ago, she left the hospital, but he just released from the ICU. That's intensive care unit. So he was pretty severely hit. A male Democrat, okay? Embarrassing enough, but that doesn't mean he should have been shot. That's him. Ooh. What a life. And that assassin, I think he killed the other husband and wife, just released intensive care unit. thank you, Commie Nonsense, for paying attention to this thing that doesn't have anything to do with us, except that it's happening in the country. There is like a whole, I hear, assassination culture that is cropping up in the world today. And these were Democrats who were really shot, and some of them killed. This one, still a long recovery ahead. Yeah, said his spokesman. Vance Bolter, 57, allegedly shot Hoffman and his wife Yvette in the June 14th shooting spree, and we're at July 9th, and he's just getting out of intensive care and going into something else, rehabilitation facility. Wow, man. Think of all the money that they have to spend because you have to pay people to care for them and pay the rent and all that stuff or whatever. And that's because some guy allegedly got the bright idea. I'm using the term the way that Mays calls it, bright, of going over and trying to kill them. It's not right. Targeted Democrats and figures with connections to the abortion rights movement. And I don't think that they really narrowed down his real motive. Is he still alive? I think he is. I think they captured him. Nice. So we may find out, or we may not find out, his real motive. Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark and the couple's golden retriever Gilbert. They had to include the dog. It's the first time I'm finding out about that part that I recall. Were killed in the attack at their home. So the Hoffmans, the ones who survived, barely, at least the husband barely survived, seems like. They put out a statement with their account of that night. Yeah, I think he lunged at the guy. Their adult daughter, Hope, and the couple were awakened at 2 a.m. I think I told you this story, maybe during Hake News last month, on Saturday, June 14th, by a person shouting and pounding at their front door, calling himself a police officer. He had a mask on, a whole head mask, kind of like, what is that? Not Jason. Michael Myers. Not to be confused with the British comedian actor guy. Mike Myers. Is that type of mask. If you guys have watched those horror movies, which I disavow or disclaim. All three were in the entryway when the door opened. The person pointed a gun at Hoffman. The senator lunged at the man, they wrote. If true, right on. That showed some physical, manly, even though he is a male Democrat, physical courage. Shot 9 times. His wife shot 8 times. And she tried to close the door. So did she try to close the door with her husband on the other side of the door? That's what I would do. Remember my friend and yours, Justin from Fullerton, intervened at some incident at beautiful Knott's Berry Farm where it rarely happens. And there was a little type of verbal confrontation going and some linked arms. And his wife was on the other side. I'm like, leave your wife. I'm kidding around. But anyway, Hope, who was uninjured, was able to secure the door and call 911. Which side of the door was the husband on? I don't know. Yvette Hoffman released from the hospital June 10th. You're welcome, blacks. Bolter, the suspect, arrested following a 43-hour manhunt, facing federal and state charges, including murder, stalking, and weapons offenses. The more out of control the populace is, the fewer rights the normal people get to have. Because the mamas go crazy and become more they want the government to be more helicopter parent-ish. It's terrible. But that's I don't know. Look at him. That's the male Democrat. He looks like he might be not like a normal white, maybe like Italian. You know, those Italians, sometimes they're more liberal per capita, perhaps. But Hoffman, what type of a last name is Hoffman? Don't know. Don't know what Yvette is. but it doesn't seem sensible to be a male. It doesn't seem sensible to be a Democrat, period. But I understand it for the POCs because they're brainwashed and everybody else is doing it, or whatever. It's like I grew up Republican. It doesn't mean that. It just means that my parents were sensible. Or their parents, or something. And so I grew up raised right, at least in terms of that. We must work together to return to a level of civility. What a mess. And Minnesota, they're not supposed to be doing that stuff in Minnesota. Nothing's supposed to be happening in Minnesota. Minnesota. That's basically Canada. They talk like Canadians a little bit, or the Canadians talk like them. Look at that. Well, that part would maybe make somebody commit crimes. I guess it's sort of hit and miss. There's parts of it that are really nice. But I guess nice places can be filled with evil people. Even evil people who have to bear up under the cold, because Minnesota gets cold. It's up north. It's one of the most northernmost states in the country, I feel like. Oh, well. So that's like a little news update for you on that guy. I didn't know that was, you forget, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to remember. Over 110 people dead, like 111, maybe more, from those Texas floods. There were Minnesota monsoon floods in which this one river in New Mexico, in which this one river, they said it rose 19 feet. That's like higher than this ceiling in a matter of minutes. And I don't know, minutes could mean 45 minutes or 10, 20 minutes, but it's crazy to me. But I've dealt up under monsoons. It flooded our tent, and you just have to go through it. I knew in advance because we went on like this natural history trip, which sounds like communist sort of propaganda. But we weren't down by on the riverbank. I'll tell you that much. Crazy. I don't know what to think about this. They're trying to say that in Gaza, 13 women, 2 men who were kidnapped by Hamas during the October 7th, 2023 terror attacks said they experienced or witnessed S-word violence, sexual violence, which is to say probably like forcible rape, or, just violating in general, which that's not right. I wouldn't want that. While in captivity. The allegations included in a new report in the DINA Project, whatever the DINA Project is, gathered firsthand testimonies from the 15 returned hostages. One purported survivor of an attempted R. Interesting. Attempted. 17 eyewitnesses and 17, they say 17 eye and ear witnesses, meaning they heard things. I wouldn't want to hear things, but I've never really heard that before. And 27 you can hear things and imagine that you're hearing something that you're not hearing, but whatever. 27 first responders who attempted scenes of what they call attacks. So was this on the Israel grounds, or was it when they were hostages in the hostage grounds back in Gaza? I don't know. The Israeli researchers concluded that Hamas used S-word violence as a weapon of war. And I feel like I heard my former guest and frequent guest, and coming up guest soon, one of these days coming up, Omar, third rail, says they wouldn't do that because that's not according to Islam, their religion. It's against their religion. And it's also unprofessional. So I don't know what to believe. There are people who... One thing I do like about Jewish people and Israelis and stuff like that, they tend to want to be factual somewhat. They tend to be more factual than, say, like, blacks will make up something and run with it, you know? Or Hispanics who will just make up something and run with it. But sometimes they do that too, you know, because people in general lie. Women lie. 13 of those are women. But anyway, I don't know. It's, as they say, the fog of war. And there are many people who are biased, who want to believe one way or the other. But, and by the way, the S-word violence is not the worst violence. I think killing is maybe worse. But S-word is pretty bad. Violence, you know? Rape. It's not right. But that's a little update from that. Ugly stuff going on in the world. And last quick point, speaking of ugly, and then I'll get to your calls. Hang tight, callers. I got this from Drudge Report. Patrick Mahomes, meanwhile in America, do I have to accept this? Or can I just go away from it? Yes, I can just hit escape. I almost accepted it, but this computer is not mine to accept. But now this thing won't scroll. Patrick Mahomes is called fat and an embarrassment in a shock rant. Drudge is sending me to these worst websites by a Kansas City radio host. Maybe I'm just going to accept it. Now I can scroll. No thanks. Look at it. Okay, so cover your ears, cover your eyes, ladies, gents, kids, faint of heart. But this guy is being called fat. He's a little bit fat. He's skinny fat. But he's also pretty strong, actually. He's tall, strong, I think. Patrick Mahomes is a famous light-skinned, mixed race, white and black NFL guy. American football person. Throws the ball. I think he's a quarterback. Radio host Kevin Kietzman, K-I-E-T-Z-M-A-N, called Patrick Mahomes, quote-unquote, fat and, quote-unquote, an embarrassment, sparking backlash as fans and Mahomes' trainer, because you can just put an apostrophe and no extra S after the S, defended the quarterback's physique. Sahil Kurup. This is from the far-left foreign outlet, The Mirror, U.S., but it's a foreign outlet. It's the U.K., but they have the U.S. version of it. And here he is with his wife or something? They're in swim trunks, we'll call it, bathing suits, on the water by a city, on a nice boat, and it looks like 4th of July or something. She has a cap that has 1995 and some cloth covering her skin from the sun, but he's sort of part black, and she looks, I don't know, celebrating Independence Day. From Instagram, Brittany Mahomes shared this. I guess that's his wife. A fiery rant on the Kansas City, but look at him, his stomach is kind of, he has a bit of a paunch. This looks roughly like Hake, we'll call it. I look roughly like the best quarterback in the NFL right now, except my arms, miniature, we'll call it. Fiery rant, Kansas City radio sparked outrage Tuesday when host Kevin Kietzman labeled Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. And I learned that it's not Mahomes. Fat and an embarrassment. Following the release of photos by his wife, putting the photos on. 3-time Super Bowl winner. I didn't know he won the Super Bowl 3 times. sporting a dad bod during 4th of July celebrations. He insists in February, that's like 4 or 5 months ago, I don't know how to do math, Mahomes insisted he had a plan to improve his physique. Well, it's been some months now, Mahomes. Well, me too. That's why you should never say your intentions, because they never bear out, even when you're a pro player. But it doesn't matter what you look like. I've seen very fat people do awesome stuff, basketball, everything. Provocative commentary erupted on Keatsman's podcast. Kevin Keatsman has issues, and ignited a fierce backlash online. Vacation photos are popping up of Patrick Mahomes, and he's fat. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to tell you the truth. He's an embarrassment, he asserted bluntly. That's right. You want your guy to look like those receivers. I'll get to the receivers. I'll get to why I said the receivers, because I don't know anything about that stuff. I know receivers, they catch the ball. Whereas this guy, he just stands around and throws the ball. The receivers have to be fit and fast. Anyway, stop the fast food. Do a sit-up. Do something. Reminds me of other people who told Hake to do a push-up. Well, I did 13 yesterday, I'll have you know. It comes after Mahomes showed his true colors after listening to people talk about the Super Bowl loss. That's right, he lost the Super Bowl most recently. So he's a loser and a winner. Keatsman claimed Mahomes earned over $500 million in vowed off-season vengeance after last year's Super Bowl defeat. Getting advice from Tom Brady after the loss, expressed horror that the quarterback is eating Taco Bell all the time and door-dashing fried chicken. And I don't know if he made that up. Because people make stuff up. Would appear fat at his pool, hanging out with us 60-year-olds. Mahomes has openly embraced a more robust physique, crediting it for enhanced durability and rotational power in the field. I don't know which part is rotating. All kinds of stuff is rotating on the field. Immediately defended by his trainer, Bobby Stroop, who fired back on now deleted social media posts. He got emotional and posted on social media. If what you want to see in shape is, if you want to see what in shape is, go make it through a practice at St. Joe, whatever that is, or run hurry up offense, which is something that I don't know about. You don't have a clue what it takes. It's not a look, it's performance, Stroop wrote. And then he deleted it, I guess, they say. He added, you obviously need attention. Yeah, a radio host is supposed to get attention. And defended Mahomes' conditioning approach as strategic rather than careless. And this is the guy, Mahomes. He has that mixed look. And I don't know who that is. That's some other guy, I think. Pretty sure. Reaction from fans, swift and scathing. One user branded Keatsman as a idiot. An idiot. While others shrewdly pointed out, bro, he's the best QB in the league. LOL. Lots of laughs. He can do what he wants. Bro makes the AFC champ game every year, and he's complaining about how he looks. People just falling into his trap. He's irrelevant, and he has to rile people up somehow. Nice. It's not a trap. It's just fun. Perhaps more importantly, the episode reignited conversations about athlete appearance versus performance. He's repeatedly emphasized that his physique, which critics call a dad bod, has a purpose. Nice. Not questioning his talent or greatness, but I've been doing this 40 years, and when the great ones get up to 30 and don't change and work harder than ever, they get passed by. Tom Brady, he says, was better. Hold on. Tom Brady was a better athlete in his 30s than 20s. Wow. Not even close how much more he cared. Last year, the Chiefs' game plan was Mahomes' magic and will win in the end. And then they made it to something. Something was phenomenal. Cannot be the organizational game plan. Ask him if he thinks he's done improving as a QB. It's just a matter of time until he gets serious. Why wait? He says. Interesting. Drama. Mahomes claims that he uses those hips and those oblique muscles to really rotate. The people who have seen the dad bod, that's for a reason. It's obliques. I'm getting them right. Obliques is this thing, right? Right on your sides? So that's just muscle that you're looking at. It just looks fat, I think. Tom Brady joked, "We got to keep a little padding there," he says. Padding. Muscle kind of acts as padding, FYI. So he's kind of kidding. We can't look like those receivers all the time. Nice, Tom Brady. 3 Super Bowl rings, 5 appearances in 6 seasons at the Super Bowl, I guess, or something. I don't know. Whatever that is. Career-leading wins and touchdowns. So he's a talented guy. Nice. Isn't that cute? Whatever. Cute, though, huh? Not cute. We won't use that term. But he has, I guess his arm, whose arm is bigger? Anyway, whatever. Right on, Kansas City radio host. He cares about his team. That's all it is. Anyway, again, catch my coffee talk with Sandra if you missed it. It was kind of fun. Let me know what you think, guys. Let me get back to some calls, and I have some other stuff to cover. 1-888-775-3773. I will check for your super chats as well. I will, I promise. But Jermaine in Canada is on the line over here. Jermaine, what's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, James, how are you?
Doing fine, thank you.
Nice. I was watching your Rumba thing there with Sandra last night.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah, when you were saying, I mean, you probably can't say, but I think I know the guy. When you were saying there's a guy that commented on Jesse's post, and you went to the producer and said, "Oh, get that guy on."
Yeah.
Was that Mike
O'Hearn?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I can say it now
so.
because Mike O'Hearn is in the announcements.
Yeah, I thought so because I saw the post when I saw the guy made a comment. I'm like, oh, they should get him on the show. That would be interesting.
Yeah. So Mike O'Hearn, a fellow bodybuilder, if you will. What am I building? I don't know, but I'm building something. He went on the Fallen State, so it should be interesting.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be a funny one.
I think so too, man.
The trailer is already funny.
Nice.
But the story that Jesse covered this morning, the first story, I don't know what the guy name is. The basketball player guy.
Oh yeah, Macklemore, a former Trailblazers basketball player, pro NBA player, and he was accused of R-word rape on a gal who he says came on to him. And then he left the house where he was, and they were both, according to both of them, they were both out of it, inebriated, drunk. And so she couldn't consent, but nor could he, because he'd been drinking too. So what? Did they rape each other? But he was convicted, and he's put away to prison, I think. To me, that's
kind of.
I don't know if there was more evidence than just this, but I scoff at this mess a bit, you know.
Yeah, it's a mess because I was listening. I'm like, what the? Because they're both intoxicated.
Yeah.
And if what he says is true, he woke up with her hand and
on
his
him.
parts.
Yeah.
So really, who was the one that really got great here?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't get it. I don't get how they convicted him. But I don't know anything about the case. This was my first introduction to it, that little brief report.
Yeah, but based on what we got, it's kind of funny because he said they both agreed to it, but her hands were where it shouldn't be when they woke up. So he's
Yeah.
the one that really got raped.
True. If what he's saying is true, which I have no reason to think that he's lying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And women do change their minds or just make claims. And there have been men who have been accused and put in and convicted and put in prison for years. And then there was this one woman famously who said, "Oh, I lied." And then so he got out. Crazy, huh?
Oh, I think I remember. Was it a black guy and he was crying?
He was a black guy, and it might have been like a football player, like a college football player or something.
I remember seeing that a while ago.
Yeah. And it's
What a
more,
mess.
they pretend like it's rare for a woman to lie. It's not rare for a woman to lie, even about that. There was a woman on Punchy TV who called it R, what she did, but she consented to it. And she was living with the guy. And I get that she really didn't want it, but then she consented to it. And like, he shouldn't have done that. And she shouldn't have done that. And they're both wrong. And he was like all needy, but it wasn't forcible. But she called it that. And she said, "Oh, I was crying the whole time."
What a mess.
Yeah, well, it total mess.
I mean, it's like Jesse said, right? It's only when you seek after the truth and only what is right. But when you go after something else, you make it your God. And I don't know. Like, I mean, a lot of people are asleep, so it kind of makes sense why it just keeps happening over and over. You see all of these cases, but you think these players that are making so much money and probably having a good life. Well, it's hard to say if they're actually having a good life.
Right.
But, there's no lesson learned there, I guess, because they still hate their mothers.
Yeah, totally.
So,
and that's what's motivating all this, because that hatred and emotions and passion and neediness is from that. And that's why they're into having the sex out of wedlock, which they shouldn't be doing. But then there's these Christian simps who are like, "You shouldn't have been having sex out of wedlock, so we're just going to convict you of rape, or we're going to take your kids away and give them to the evil mother who is also having sex out of wedlock." What sense does that make? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Or let the mother adopt the kids away from the father without the father's consent. There's like in Utah, there was famously several years ago, maybe to this day, cases in which some woman could go over to Utah and put the man's kids really, up for adoption, out from under him, without his knowledge nor consent. And Utah defends it, because Utah is Christian, Mormon.
Christian, okay.
Yeah, doesn't seem sensible to me.
Yeah, there's a case here in Canada too of I think they're former junior hockey players, 5 of them.
Okay.
They're being charged for sexually accused of assaulting a female.
Right.
But she wanted it because it's so funny. They were all drinking from the story, what I've seen online. They're all drinking, and then she wanted it. Was 5 of them and just her.
Uh-huh.
And then after publicly, then she regretted it and said they assaulted her. So it's funny. You gotta stay away from these crazy women, man.
Yeah, never touch anyone. You're not even supposed to touch a woman, I heard. And I think that's smarter. If you don't touch her, then you're less pulled in. She's less pulled into you, and you're less pulled into him. I mean, sure, whatever. I forget what I said.
I mean,
because I watched this TV show, The Chosen, and there's this purported couple back then. One of the disciples wanted to marry this gal, and they were engaged. They got engaged, but just before they got engaged, like they're sitting next to each other, and they're like a foot apart or two, and there is a chaperone fellow disciple who's standing like 20 feet back behind them, kind of watching over them, make sure they don't lean into each other and put one arm over the other or touch each other. And that was like, Huh, that's what they did back then, huh? Enforce some decency so you didn't get pulled in to start having the sex out of wedlock.
Yeah, it's like back in the old days when, if you have a girl over and she's in your room or you're at her house, the door has to be open and you can't be at the house by yourself with with another woman or a male. So there was some precaution measure.
That's right.
Back in the days. But now, like Jesse said, like these women, they dress crazy, man.
It is. It is crazy how they dress. It's so like provocative and it's on purpose.
Yeah.
And then they pretend like it's not. They pretend like it's normal because everybody's doing it. And they think you're just a prude. And it's not right.
But Hank, my question to you, like, if the males become right and become man, or man, it wouldn't be a problem, right? The woman would have no choice but to change.
Right. I think that's the case. Or the ones who wouldn't. Well, you know what? There would be ones who wouldn't change because there's always going to be men who aren't right who are going to delve into that. But it will help awaken many, both men and women, for men to be the light, for sure.
That is true.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And there will be women who will fall in line with that.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's like if the man set the standard.
Yeah.
And because if the man is not going to want what they're bringing, set the standard, the women have no choice but to follow the man's lead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he just leaves her if she's not going to be decent. Because he doesn't need her. Me neither. As Snoop Dogg rapped. Well, he said love her, but by love her, he means need her, because that's not love.
Yeah. I was watching one of your old debates.
Yeah.
I forgot the guy now. But you guys were talking about about gender. Yeah,
okay.
That's what you guys were talking about. What's the word did he use? The fear. I forgot what word he used now.
Phobia?
But the word that he brought up, that, when they say you don't like transgender people and you fear them, what's the word they use? I forgot now.
Transphobia.
Yeah.
Or trans misogyny.
Transphobia.
Yeah.
And you ask what does it mean? And you said fear.
Right.
He's like, that's not what it means. I'm like, what the?
Yeah. He also said that it's repulsion. And I'm like, okay, I'll go with that.
What a mess.
Yep.
I was like, bro. But it was good chatting with you, man.
Yeah, nice talking with you too. Appreciate it. Good to hear from you, man.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. Nice. Yeah, on my Coffee Talk with Sandra appearance yesterday evening from 6 p.m. my time until like 9 p.m. We talked about all kinds of stuff. It was right here where we did it, right here. This is the very place where we did. Just kidding around. I think that's AI, but no, I don't know. On Tuesday, and you can catch it on Rumble and X. I called her a boomer, and she's like, I'm not a boomer. I called her a Gen X boomer because she's Gen X. And I called myself a millennial boomer. And we both made the same mistake. I think over on her Pilled, I think she accidentally streamed over I think she accidentally streamed over my appearance on her show. Watch. The Hake Report. I'm blowing up her spot. This is the, here, let me,
fellow patriots and soldiers of light.
Let me mute that.
Welcome aboard the
Complicated business, folks. That they're trying to sell shirts on, it's pilled.net, whatever. Stuff. Skip that. And look, she started to, I think she streamed over it this morning. Let's see. When was this? I'm not sure. Anyway, I think she streamed over my show with her on Pilled. It's understandable. I think I did the same thing. That's why I think I feel justified calling her a boomer after that. But nice. Maybe I'm wrong, though. I could be totally mistaken. But you can find it on Rumble, Coffee Talk with Sandra. Hake, you see the full, if you click go, it goes for like 3 hours or whatever. Nice, huh? Approaching 3 hours. And I was surprised too, by the way, the interview the day before with Ralph was, it was much more focused on me than I've ever had before. Normally I'm kind of like a co-host guest. Yeah, look, 2 hours, 57 minutes. So right on. Thank you, Sandra. I would like Rumble to have like a replay of the chat. The chat, you know? How about some chat replay, Rumble? Pill has it. Even X Live has it. Watch. Look, some people joined in the X Live chat. Nobody joins in the X Live chat, but people joined. Even CJ. A different CJ from the CJ that you hear from on the show oftentimes. Showed up and somebody reposted it. So nice. Thank you, Sandra. Coffee Talk with Sandra. It was cool. We talked about marriage and relationships and stuff. And girls and guys and stuff. And the pictures on the Hake report with all these gals and guys. Very fun. So check it out. She's a supporter of the JLP show, of the Hake report, and been asking for years. Ego, marriage. She said, check it out. She said marriage is kind of like not worth it. And yet she loves her daughters. So thank you, Sandra. Coffee Talk with Sandra. Church, yay. Lauren Daigle, or however you pronounce her name, that Christian gal, played a nice song of hers about ego. So cool. Right on. She's on all your favorite platforms. Very nice. Okay. You can call in 1-888-775-3773. Anchor Baby showed this yesterday, and I'm going to show it on my show. Because thank you, Boomer. Coffee Talk with Sandra, by the way. Gen X Boomer. It's all in good fun. But I want to show this, just another thrill. I thought of this after seeing this that morning. So, Mimi in church with Jesse Lee Peterson yesterday, I started to say yesterday, a few weeks ago, or maybe a month or so ago, asked about the wins that Christianity gets. And she talked about, oh no, I didn't want to do that. Here, let me do it this way. She talked about, for example, transgenders or whoever, who, oh, cool. I wonder if this will go to. Let's see if this does it. No. Talked about, for example, transgenders who break free from being transgender. Nice. I don't have to deal with lame-o threads. Am I logged in? I would be surprised if I were logged in. Okay, no, I'm not logged in. Otherwise, I would repost this. But, and these people who turn their lives around, you know? Christians who turn Christian, people who turn Christian and then turn their lives around, and that's a win that Christianity makes. And JLP is like, it's all a thrill. They just still living off of excitement. They've replaced one thing with another, with the Christian needs excitement. And that's what it seems like this is. This was shared by Joy Villa, with whom I have a picture on my website, thehakereport.com/pics or something. Gallery? I forget. She was a Fallen State guest. She's all Christian. Conservative, light-skinned, mixed-race, black gal. Something. Joy Villa. Or is it Vija? I'm crying my eyes out. 5 crying tear streams down her face emoji. Hearts on fire emojis. And it says, YWAM. I've heard of YWAM. Young Women and Men. I don't know. YWAM. Rogaland. And this is on this is on IG, Instagram. It's Instagram. Let's see. Will it let me? I'm gonna refresh this, and then hopefully I'm quick on the thing, on the unmute, because Instagram's interface for playing videos stinks. Okay? Don't say that too much, kids.
And I was radically saved at the Send in Grand Rapids 2023 as a security guard.
Okay, so her name is Zena, and that got cut off because I'm not quick enough on the unmute. She was a security guard. She got radically saved, according to YWAM Rogaland, or whatever that is, at the Send, which is some event, Christian gathering thing. And so here's her little story.
Before I met Jesus, I was anxious, I was depressed, suicidal, I was addicted to drugs, alcohol. I was living paycheck to paycheck, so I was selling myself online for money, basically in prostitution. I was addicted to pornography, masturbation, and I was confused.
Sorry, kids and ladies, I forgot to warn you.
About my
But in general, it's whatever. So she's all into the LGBT BLM flag here, confused about her identity.
identity, if I liked men or if I liked women. And so I didn't really know the purpose of life or what I was searching for. And God set me free in a singular night when I attended the Send. As I was working in the office that day,
there she is in her uniform as a security guard with the "don't run me over" vest.
I ended up being moved from the office to be put out onto the...
This is a young lady, pretty gal. Looks like she has a tattoo right there on her upper chest area with a cross necklace on it. Just for the podcast listeners, young lady talking. Looks white or white adjacent.
Arena floor.
So she's a security guard on the arena floor at this Christian event.
And when I walked into the arena, I saw 10,000 people dancing and singing, crying. And for the first time in my life, I realized I don't know who these people are worshiping. I don't know what they're seeing. I don't know why they're so happy, but I want
the soaking music. Sorry, the soaking music. I don't know who these people are worshiping, but I want
that. I didn't really say anything to anyone. I kind of just kept to myself. And slowly throughout the night, the Lord just kept softening my heart and breaking the walls down. And I had a girl come up to me and she asked if she could pray for me. And she laid her hands on me and I just began to weep. In that moment, I had people getting up out of their seats, coming down the stairs, getting off the floor. Like, there's so many people, and I found myself in the middle of this prayer circle. People were prophesying over me, speaking life into me, speaking life over my family, and I had never experienced that before. And so after everyone stopped praying, the girl who first started praying for me asked, "Do you want to receive Jesus as your Lord and Savior?" And I was like, "Yes, of course I do." And then everybody started cheering for me. The next day, I woke up and everything was broken off. I didn't have the craving for drugs anymore or alcohol. I knew that I was a woman. My anxiety was gone, my depression was gone, my suicidal thoughts were gone, everything was broken off. And I just felt lighter. Everything just seemed happy and joyful, and I was excited to be alive. I was excited to meet these new friends that I met. I was excited to go to church. I was excited to pursue God.
Isn't that sweet? Don't you relate to that? Or do you relate to that? I relate to that type of a thing, sort of. Maybe not exactly that, because I never really got that excited about the crowd stuff. But I definitely related to that excitement, that connection with other people, Christians and stuff, whom I admired and respected and It sort of satisfied a longing for social connection, I guess, because she was sort of antisocial, a degenerate, all into the LGBT stuff. Didn't know if she liked girls or guys, tattoos, drugs, mess. And then she suddenly didn't need it anymore. I totally relate to that. But that's not changed. That's not saved, girl, young lady. I don't think. That was just a young lady saw you and prayed for you. And
My name is Zena, and I was radically
there, we got the
saved
beginning
at
of
the
it.
Send in Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. YWAM. Let me see. Look at all these people. The Send. What is this stuff? A worship and missions gathering. Oh, dox. They doxed her. Don't harass her, guys and gals. YWAM. Rogaland. I was right. I've heard of YWAM from my cousins who are more into the Christian thing. They went to like Christian youth with a mission. Never not young men and not young women and men. Youth with a mission. YWAM. It's like this Christianese sort of organization, ministries and stuff. What church is YWAM? Campus Crusade for Christ. Oh, partnership. What? It's a notable working relationship. Southern Baptist Convention. Trans World Radio. Not that kind of trans. Wycliffe, Bible translators, and others. Great Commission-focused organization. So, it reminded me so much. I saw I saw this clip that morning because I got this push notification. Yes, I'm on Threads. I'm just not logged into my Threads. I don't go on it much. I'm on Truth Social more, but I like Threads because I get this stuff from like Joy Villa and others. Here's another one from Joy Villa, real quick, just a side note. And then I heard JLP say that. I'm like, that's the same thing. That phony excitement that replaced all of your need for the drugs and stuff. And look at these girls praying together, holding hands. I think that might be Joy Villa right there. Isn't that cute? Would you walk up? Would you approach these gals? Here, let me find it on Instagram. Instagram is better for playing it, even though it's not good for playing it.
That you're pleased and never alone.
So it's just musical it's just musical playing in the background. But they're praying, and the wind is blowing, and it's beautiful on the beach, and they're sitting cross-legged, very flexible. It's handy. It's good to be able to sit cross-legged. No, come heal with us at our healing retreats. Heal with, don't harass them, gents and ladies and whatever. Natalia, Joy, and Jenny. Rock life today. Rosh life today. Whatever. Every month at the beach, the chicks are neat. They pray. Beach and Horse Country in Florida. Comment healed if you're interested in joining our next one. Deliverance Ministry. Healing using Holy Spirit-led prayer, worship, scripture to help you mend and recover from trauma, wounds, and suffering caused by demonic oppression, cults, childhood pain, open doors, past experiences, abuse, witchcraft, and stuff. A private, safe, and loving, I think it meant safe, not save, and loving retreat and deeper connection to Jesus and his healing power. Isn't that nice? They're trying to do something good. I'll hit bookmark and like, I guess. Oh, look, that's terrible. I'm the 25th like. Oops. Embarrassing. Hopefully they don't come on my well, whatever. So, that's that Christian-y stuff. Christian-y feel-good girly stuff. And if you're lost in seeking, you're in that college Christian world, trendy college Christian world, that's all you know. And the atheists sense that this is all mental. The atheists are right about it. And then they're right about the atheists for being mocker judgers. But they're all the same. Isn't that kind of interesting? Hey, there's Joyville on Threads. Anyway. These girls going around saving people. It's horrible. I gotta get to some White History Month stuff one of these days. Make sure you do catch American Anchor Baby on coming up next. Coming up soon. Okay. Let me make sure that I have the redirect set, actually. Is Anchor Baby set? I didn't even set the redirect. Anchor Baby show coming up soon. His show is great. He wished those gals well. He was nicer to those gals than I was. What's up, Coffee Talk with Sandra? You gifted the cookie over there on, and it's a clean thing. Over there on pilled.net. Thank you kindly. Let me just see something. You know what's funny? I relate to Omar in that I can't always pull up. Bigg Bump says, Joy is nice, but she recently baptized her husband. Ooh. Terrible. Let's see. What's all this? What's all this? How's my stream, guys? How's my stream? Oh, nice. Oh, she screenshotted the stream. Yeah, the live chat. I think she might have had it. No. I don't think she did. Talking about Coffee Talk with Sandra. Right on. Thank you. That was fun. I can't see my messages in my web browser on X. Elon Musk. Rather than trying to start a new political party and bash Trump and the big beautiful bill and stuff, and send stuff to fake space, how about you fix your messages so that the messages show up on the first try on X on my Chrome browser. I get that Chrome, or make your own browser that's better than Chrome that I would want to use. It's not too safe. I don't know. What a mess. I'm refreshing multiple times, can't pull it up. And then sometimes I just find other ways to get it to go, but it won't. Anybody else have that problem? I'm pretty sure Omar has the same problem. He's like, I can't pull it up. Can you email me? I'm shaking my head. It gets me ticked. I have some super chats, more super chats to read before I get to your calls. Hang tight. Hang tight. Let's see. Over on, let me show you guys the super chats, right? Because I did see a couple come in. Over on buymeacoffee.com/The Hake Report. I could actually pull them up on thehakereport.com. I just realized. If I mosey on over to thehakereport.com and I click this thing, I might be able to see them. Yeah, I can. Ronnie in Ohio bought a coffee. My brother Hake. President Trump said he hates Democrats. I saw that. That was so funny. What is your perspective on that? As always, I appreciate you sharing your POV. Oh, I wonder if I can pull that up, Ronnie. That was so funny. He's like, they hate me. And honestly, I hate them because they hate the country. Something like that. Maybe I should go try it on X too. And by the way, okay, so I'm going to pull up my messages, but don't look, everybody. Look, it's loading. Oh, no, it came up. Okay. Anyway. Trump hate Democrats. Video, right? Is that what that says? Media. I hate Democrats. Something like that. Is it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's see if this is it.
Incredible last night. I want to thank Republican congressmen and women because what they did is incredible last night, and the Senate, the Republican.
So this is the 3rd of July, apparently. Breaking in a shocking moment, according to somebody. Our greatest president, Trump, declares that he is unable to be a president to all Americans. He didn't say that. Really American one posted this, okay? So they're giving fake news. As he hates Democrats. They hate Trump, but I hate them too. I really do. I hate them. I can't stand them. What a small, hateful man. No, he's a big, loving man. Because there is no malice in his voice. Listen to this. Watch.
I want to thank Republican congressmen and women because what they did is incredible last night, and the Senate, the Republican
3rd of July, okay? The big, beautiful bill passing.
Senate, we got, not with all of the things we did with the tax cuts and rebuilding our military, not one Democrat voted for us. And I think
Can you believe that?
we use it in the campaign that's coming up, the midterms, because we got to use it in the campaign voted for us. And I think we use it in the campaign that's coming up, the midterms, because we got to beat them. But all of the things that we've given, and they wouldn't vote only because they hate Trump.
Yep.
But I hate them too, you know that? So it's sort of, I really do, I hate them. I cannot stand them because I really believe they hate our country. You want to know the truth?
Yeah, they do.
I want to thank Republican congressmen
But
and women because what they did is
he's still a president for all. That's why he's doing stuff that's good for all of the country, such as closing the borders, stopping them coming in, doing the mass deportations. That's good for everybody. It's even good for the illegals. That's love. And to say he hates them is because it's like godly hate. He rejects them. You know, God said, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. Because Esau was a lame-o, but he didn't hate Esau. Esau still did okay. It's just that Jacob became Israel, God's chosen. And Esau became the white man, God's rejected. Right? That's what they call us, right? Edom. Was Edom Esau? I forget. I think that's beautiful. I saw that with JLP up in the office the other day, Ronnie in Ohio, and I thought it was hilarious. It reminded me of, you know who else says that he hates these liberals? Who's that guy? Nick Fuentes. And I don't believe it for a second. Nick Fuentes doesn't hate anybody. He loves everybody, I think. Maybe Nick Fuentes has a little passion in him and he hates. But Trump doesn't hate anybody. He's just saying that. So that's my perspective. It's like these people are, don't you just hate them? Don't you just want to hit them? He said that about people who are just the Black Lives Matter agitators at his rallies. So that's how I take it, Ronnie. Don't take words too seriously. Words don't mean the reality of the situation. Because they hate him with a evil hate, and he hates them with a perfect hate. Or I don't know, because, you know, David, I'm quoting David in the Psalms or something, because David says, I hate your enemies, God. I hate them with a perfect hate. But maybe it doesn't say, the Bible doesn't say that, yeah, that's right, David, you're supposed to hate them. No, it just says that David hated them. And we don't know what David meant by hate, because all hate is not the same. Right? Right. The Bible footnotes on where Esau I hated, it just means did not accept, rejected. Rejected. It's like the illegals. Rejected. We love you, but you're getting deported. It's like the criminals. Death penalty, we forgive you, death penalty. It's not like Biden. We forgive your loans. You don't have to pay back. You know, these leeches. So that's my take. See, let me know if that makes sense to you, Ronnie, or if that's just cope in your mind. Cesar or C, because wasn't that just so amusing? That was just love. And it was truth. Cesar or Caesar, 3 coffees. Sup? Thanks, man. Oh, as always, man. Sup? Hey, not much for me today since I'm kind of busy. Stay safe, y'all. Right on, Cesar or Caesar. You're working, putting value in the world, and paying for what he sees as valuable. He thinks that the Hake report is valuable, and he's donating 3 coffees. Thanks, man. How much is a coffee anyway? Let's say $9. 3 coffees, $9. Thanks, man. Awesome. And I get most of that. It's not like YouTube where they take 30%. I only get like $6 out of it. They may take a little bit, but overall, it's cool. BuyMeACoffee.com. So if you want to support Anchor Baby, for example, but he's monetized on YouTube, but you can support him better on BuyMeACoffee.com/AnchorBaby. But if you want to support him conveniently and everybody sees it and it's funner, support him on the YouTube. It's more convenient. Don't let that stop you. Don't be like, but I'd rather do the Buy Me a Coffee, but I don't have time. And then you don't give anything. You know, terrible. Convenience is valuable too. So I'm fine with YouTube taking 30%. And that's just what I hear. I don't know how much they really take. Anyway, babbling, huh? Terrible. Right on. Okay, so David in Ocala, Florida is on the line here. David, thank you for calling and holding, man. What's up?
I got somebody. I thought it was your screen caller. Somebody in the chat, Double Edge, said, "Call in. I'll try to get you on. I'll try to get you on with Hake."
That's funny, man. Nice.
Well, I was gonna call today, but
yeah, Derek is not Double Edge. Double Edge is somebody else entirely. Not even close.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I called in because I started. You brought up that Lauren Daigle girl.
Yeah.
Did you watch her perform that song live?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I thought you were there. You had a podcast with somebody, right? And
and she played the Coffee Talk with Sandra on Rumble and Pilled and DLive and X. She played at the end of my appearance. Toward the end, she played this song called "Ego" by Lauren Daigle or Daigle, and it was basically just words. It had the lyrics on there.
Yeah, she deconverted, man, like a while back. There was a big thing about that.
Oh, really? So she's not Christian anymore?
Well, she says she doesn't believe anymore.
Well, all musicians are liberals, and if that's true, I don't know if it's true, but you're telling me now. I don't think I'd heard that before. I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying.
To make sure I called in.
There are a lot of Christians. Like I said, all musicians are liberals, even the Christians. So they're not that strong of Christians necessarily. And then, a lot of these young people. She's young. She's like in her 30s or maybe 40s tops.
Right.
And a lot of them are doing this deconstruction thing, which is
that's what it is, deconstruction.
Yeah, and so it's like a liberal. It's a liberal thing. They turned sort of anti-racist and dumb stuff. From what I understand.
Well, she was on some show. I mean, she was on a special. I mean, I don't know if it was 2020 or what, but man, she was on an hour-long special about all that.
Wow.
Deconstruction thing that Lauren Daigle was. That's how I, found. I mean, I watched a little bit of it, but anyway, I wanted to talk to you about the Muslims.
Okay. Yeah.
Real quick. Man, y'all, you younger people, you need to watch out for these people because they want to, they're bad, man. It's a bad situation. Us letting all them people into our country.
It is. I mean, it's not right.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the Dearborn, Michigan protest that they had just a while ago?
Yeah, Anchor Baby played some portion of it, and then JLP played a portion of that protest, I think, a couple weeks ago or so.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And so I looked it up. That city is 54% Muslim now. Now, those people that used to live there, 40 years ago,
Yep.
they'd never believe it.
Yeah, totally.
They just stole their whole town.
I know.
And the same thing they say is about to go down in Houston.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah, see, over in the UK, they're flipping out, man. Even Conor McGregor is having a fit about this thing.
Yeah.
They have totally taken over the streets. The mayor, they voted them all in as mayors. They built like 300 mosques over there.
Whoa.
And these people, I was watching an interview. There was a guy over there. He has 3 wives and 14 children, and the state pays for all of his kids. The whole mess.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to bankrupt the country. It's going to bankrupt the UK.
That's not right.
No,
That's
it's
crazy,
not.
man.
I mean, dude. So your buddy, you should ask I'm not trying to tell you what to do, Hake, but
Yeah.
the next time you have Omar on there, you might want to ask him what he believes about Jesus and really find out right from his mouth what he believes about Jesus. And it's probably going to blow your mind if you ask him that.
Yeah, but I don't honestly really care what he believes, because I know that he's not Christian,
Yeah, but it's just anyway. So
I get that. I get that the country is supposed to be Christian, and we shouldn't be letting in non-Christians into the country because it's kind of undermines our culture. I'm with you there, but it's not something that leaves. I grew up where not everybody was Christian. I eventually found that out. I learned that people are like Buddhist and Catholic and different things. I get that Catholic is supposedly Christian, and I accept that. But there are these other Muslim and all that stuff. Muslim wasn't so dominant, though, as it is today in America, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was just something that my mother scared me about. But I didn't get that scared. But it's not something what other people believe, what Jews supposedly believe about Jesus and what Muslims believe about Jesus. It's not something that really leaves me aghast. And even what Christians believe about Jesus, because you know that a whole bunch of Christians, you and I don't even agree about some of the basics of what Jesus is or who Jesus is. So it's that's their life, that's their hell, and I got to deal with my hell.
I get you.
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from with that, man, because, it's really tough to get in the middle of stuff like that. Like, I'll just confront somebody and tell them, I don't care no more. But but I see where you're coming from.
So you'll tell them about Jesus and that you got to believe this.
I'll break it off in them.
How did you come to believe in Jesus the way that you do? Did somebody come at you like that, or did you read and come to the conclusion yourself?
Yeah, nobody came at nobody. My mom took me to church when I was a kid, and I was into the preachers and everything like that. And then I told you somebody bought me a Bible when I was 4 years old, and I moved 8 times and never lost it. And that's what really, when I started reading the Word of God, that's what led me to redemption in Christ and knowing, started my journey.
Right.
That's what got me born again was this Bible that was purchased for me at 4 years old, and I never lost it and found it when I was like 14, and it changed my life. That's what I was going to bring up about that girl. Anybody that goes into that deconstruction thing, if they don't read enough of the Word of God, it can cause that. It can cause you to go backwards because it does say faith comes by hearing and hearing by the Word of God. And that's why that Bible and the Word of God is so crucial. It gets sown into your spirit, into your heart. And then nobody the Holy Spirit makes it to where nobody can deceive you, okay? Nobody. Like, that comes to you, these false teachers and prophets, like, say, Jehovah's Witnesses knock on your door, Mormons knock on your door.
Yeah.
You know the truth. You know the truth.
So Christian deconstruction, I'm looking it up on far left extremist Google AI, is a process in which individuals critically examine and reevaluate the beliefs, doctrines, practices of traditional Christianity. Often involves questioning established norms, authorities within the faith, sometimes leading to significant shifts in perspective or even a complete departure from traditional Christianity. So does that mean she still thinks that she's a Christian? She just thinks that she's different and better from and better than traditional Christians?
I would think more like she wants to do it her way. Okay, she wants it. Like the song, "I Did It My Way." Okay, that's what they want to do, and you can't serve Christ your way. Doesn't work that way. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like that girl, the girl that you brought up, the one that was, I guess she was transgender and everything like that.
Yeah.
Let's hope that God set her free. Let's hope that the Holy Spirit set her free from all that, because we definitely don't want her mutilating her body or anything like that, right? So hopefully God intervened. Hopefully she really had a connection with God that time, and that's the beginning of her walk with Christ. And she'll get over that mess.
That you're talking about this gal that I was showing earlier, Zena. Zena, the girl who went to YWAM, Youth with a Mission. Yeah, I think that part is nice. Like, it may have kept her from doing even worse to herself, because it's better physically for your physical life to be a normie, phony, girly Christian than to be a degenerate, full-blown transgender drug addict, for sure. Yeah, I'm not taking that away from her at all.
Yeah, but what happens, man, is this, when the Spirit, that's why when you go into a church, man, you it's clean. You don't feel you got people that have the Holy Spirit in them. You're feeling that, okay, when you go into a church.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so clean, because the evil won't go in there. But go into a satanic, gathering or something like that and tell me how you feel. Okay.
Right.
So anyway, what I'm trying to get to is that girl, when she went to that retreat, she got caught up in it because she actually probably felt God for the first time in her life, maybe. And it changed her. Okay. She really had an experience. And when a person really, really has an experience with God, it will definitely change them. Okay. So, because it does.
But what do you think about, don't you know a lot of atheists and Buddhist people and others who they go to like AA, or they get in with a group of halfway decent seeming people, and they quit the drugs and they quit some of these lifestyles that are bad for them, but they're still not, it's not like they found God, it's just that they found a better way of living in their physical life. And then they have like a connection with people that kind of fulfills a social neediness and emotional neediness that they have.
Right. Well, AA could sort of become their God.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
and they're still angry and grumpy and nasty.
Yeah,
smoking.
because some people have had really rough lives.
Yeah, I get it.
It's like I heard this pastor say one time, you want to know why people do drugs? And then they he paused, he goes, because it makes them feel good.
That's right.
Okay?
Exactly.
And so, I mean, that's what it was in my life, okay? That's why I was doing drugs, trying to cover up my pain and my childhood. But, man, I started doing drugs at 11 years old,
Wow.
Actually 10, so trying to cover up that,
misery
coming out of my bedroom with that Jim Bowie knife, telling my mom and second husband, I'm gonna take you out,
Yeah.
and other stuff that a young child should not have to deal with.
Totally.
So it was easy to fall into plus I did like it. I mean, I did
the
like
drugs.
it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, it made me think, I acted older, hung out with older kids, and, it was just it was socially more acceptable in the mid 70s, late 70s to do that as a younger person.
Yeah.
And then it turned, when Reagan, Mr. and Mrs. Reagan came in with the big, don't say
no to drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
It didn't work, or it did work?
Yeah, it worked. I mean, they sent it around to hit all them elementary schools and scared them half to death.
It worked for me. It worked for me, but I was already of that mindset not to drink or do drugs, from my parents.
Well, because you had a stable family.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was pretty peaceful relatively speaking.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just saying it was relatively peaceful compared to a hectic, confrontational fighting life that you had growing up.
Well,
totally.
I didn't have that bad of a childhood, okay? You got what
Nice.
I'm saying? I mean, dude, I had a Yamaha 60 at 8 years old. I rode around the streets of Tampa on it, okay?
Right on.
So it wasn't like, I had some, I lived in a really super nice apartment that had 2 pools and a pool table. So it wasn't like I was, destitute or nothing like that. But,
Right.
But
it was miserable with a sort of a dysfunctional family.
Well, it was inconsistent because I told you I went to 5 different elementary schools by the 5th grade, and I moved 13 times by the time I was 13 years old.
That can definitely be disruptive because I wouldn't have wanted to move because I liked my friends, I wouldn't want to move away and lose my friends that I liked from school. But I think more than that was, I would imagine that more than that was you didn't have your father and your mother was getting with step parents, and that's
by the
disruptive.
time I was 9 years old, that's when my life got stable because she married her 3rd husband, and then it slowed down.
Yeah.
But dude, like here, when I was going into the 5th grade, I hadn't even gone to school yet. Okay. And I had this teacher in the 4th grade that gave me a hard time about my writing. Okay. So now I'm thinking, man, this next teacher's going to break it off in me when I meet her, you know what I'm saying? And talking about living on your thoughts, okay, all right? So I practiced for 2 weeks, my handwriting and everything. I get in there, this lady doesn't say anything, okay, about it. In fact, she realized that I was behind in math and in English and gave me these books and made me go home. And this lady spent a lot of time getting me up to reading level. So
nice.
So, but if I went to the same school, every year, that probably wouldn't have happened. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just inconsistencies in children. That's why I got a lot of empathy for children because of what I went through.
Right on.
As a child.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, listen, I know you got to move on, buddy. Thanks for taking my call. But listen, you people out there listening, watch out for them Muslims, man. They want to take you over. They want, I'm going to be gone.
Yeah, that's true.
Hake, I'm going to be gone by the time you're dealing with it.
Well, don't talk like that, man. I wish you as long a life as God sees fit, David.
I understand that.
Thanks, man.
I know you do, but I'm just thinking. Anyway, you got. All right, listen. Have a great day, Hake, and thanks for taking my call.
Sounds good, man. All right.
Later on, buddy. All right, bye.
Bye. Real quick, little correction, minor correction. I'm sure in David and Ocala's opinion, Lauren Daigle is not a Christian, but Lauren Daigle or Daigle, however you pronounce that name, the singer who sings different Christian pop songs that are very moving and stuff, she still identifies, according to Google AI, which may be bad info, but hey, it might not be. Yes, Lauren Daigle still identifies as Christian. While her music and perspective have evolved, she has not abandoned her quote-unquote faith, whatever that means, right? She acknowledged that some in the Christian music community have questioned her commitment due to her evolving perspective and themes in her music. She maintains that she is a Christian. Now, when you're a Christian musician, maybe you have reason to make claims that aren't necessarily true and claim to be a Christian so that you can get that Christian music money. But I'm not saying that that's her. I'm not saying it's money. It could be sincere. Evolving perspective. Evolving is not a good thing, by the way, because Obama evolved into supporting so-called same-sex marriage, which is a lie because he has supported it all along. Daigle's music has become less overtly faith-based in some of her recent work, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's questioning acceptance and inclusion, communist buzzwords. Desire to be more inclusive, accepting of others, particularly LGBTQ plus so-called community, which it is not. Also led to criticism from the Christians. Despite these changes, she is still a Christian, and her faith remains a central part of her life. While the term deconstruction is sometimes used to describe a process of questioning and potentially abandoning traditional religious beliefs, Daigle has not publicly stated that she is deconstructing her faith. Instead, her perspective seems to be evolving within the framework of her Christian faith. Yeah, a lot of women are easily deceived, and men will follow them into accepting wrong as right, not okay as okay, not right as right. I think I already said that. Evil is good and good is evil. Christian star Lauren Daigle on Trump trolling and blah, blah, blah. What is all this? Oh, Lord. Far left Guardian. It's in my blood to see barriers break. What type of blood is that? Christian pop star on Trump trolling. Grammy-winning songwriter's new album is 2023, okay, is her first for a major label. Is it going to enrage her core audience? There she is. Mildly attractive gal, nice tan, colorful outfit. I guess that's her, right? There she is. There she is. Total hippie liberal. Mildly attractive. New Orleans. Degenerate. She was 14 when Hurricane Katrina hit. Blah, 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 blah. Louisiana and Nashville is her haunt. Oh, Lord. Let's find out if this might not matter, but archive.is. Let's see if it exists. Nope. No such luck. You just have to put up without it. Let's see if there's anything that pops up about headlines. A Christian musician. It won't even tell me what it is. It's not important. She's a musician. She's a liberal. Facts. That's all there is to it. Nice. So anyway, according to Google AI, she acts like she thinks she's a Christian still. Whatever. Let me get to Robert in Kansas, who's on. He was on the line. Robert in Kansas couldn't hang. R.I.P. Robert in Kansas. Wish you well, sir. Nice. Did you know it is White History Month? Yesterday, I announced my White History hero for the day was Trump. And Trump knew what was up, knows what's up. He's right. He's real. He's the man. And he's making big changes. He has made big changes over the course of his career. White History hero. White History Month, Trump, the hero. Well, Bigg Bump, happy White History Month to Bigg Bump. He sent me in 2020, I think, every single day of White History Month. He had a different hero. So I'm going to have to peruse those, perhaps. Or maybe I'll share it in my blog post. You can peruse them too yourself. I don't have time to get into them right now, but he had different white history heroes every single day of the month. That's commitment. That's cool. Nice. Happy White History Month, Lauren Daigle, whatever she is. Happy White History. Aaron Rupar. Is Aaron Rupar a Muslim? I don't know, actually. I mix him up with these other people. But let me just show you his, since I'm over here, his White History Month, a little search from Bigg Bump, White History Month. July 1st, 2021, a month to observe everyone. So amazing. The spotlight, July 31st, 2020. Real Donald Trump, the Great White Hope. Indeed. Day 30, 2020. Presidential Medal of Freedom and Congressional Gold Medal recipient, Super Patriot Marion Michael Morrison. Also John Wayne, also known as the Duke. John Wayne had a feature last year or 2 years ago on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Pretty good guy for an actor, I'll tell you that much. They say that he got fat and he died with a lot of fat in his body. I think I heard. But he was a solid guy. He was pretty good. Oh, this belly aching. A journalist, my competitor, Alex Jones, July 29th. Nice. That's a good hero. Inventor, medical doctor, businessman, teacher, firearms and our agricultural vehicle revolutionary, founder of Gatling Gun Company, Richard Gatling. 2A, the gun that changed everything. Wow. See, Bigg Bump knows his stuff. Oliver Gibson, luthier, musician, guitar, and mandolin. Probably a liberal. Maybe back then they weren't liberals. Founder of the Gibson Mandolin Guitar Company. Mandolins. Tink, tink, tink. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I don't care what the devil's gonna do. It's like a little guitar. The word of faith is my sword and shield. Jesus is the Lord of the way I feel. Nolan Bushnell, father of electronic gaming, co-founder of Atari. Oh yeah, Atari game system. I played it at my grandma's house. I think we still have it somewhere. That's a Pitfall. Software and electrical engineer, inventor, restaurateur. That's a tough business, I hear. Very nice. And then I don't have much time, but I just want to do the Mason jar, tinker, tinsmith, manufacturer, accountant, and inventor of the Mason jar, John Landis Mason. Mason's patent, November 30th, 1858. Wow, even before the so-called Civil War. Right on. Beautiful. Paul Revere, silversmith. I didn't know he was a silversmith. I just thought he rode that horse. That's all I knew about him. The redcoats are coming. Metallurgist, militia officer, industrialist, entrepreneur, inventor, dentist, engraver, and patriot. Wow. A jack of many trades. Paul Revere, the Midnight Rider. Man, oh man, so nice. Thank you, Bigg Bump. We'll have to peruse more of his stuff. Let me repost some of these, at least the Paul Revere one. Nice. Shout out to Bigg Bump. That's love. What Hake doesn't know could fill a book. It could fill the whole world, honestly. It could fill the universe. With space. Thank you, guys. I got to get out of here. American Anchor Baby coming up next. Peace in the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. If you seek it and pursue it, take care. Bye.